thinking to start an Amazon business and you're wanting to get a big picture view, high view, bigger understanding of what your Amazon can do for you in the long run, then that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. This ties into another video training we've done called the 3 Pillars of E-commerce Success. And that is number 1 pillar is to generate cash flow, to jumpstart your business and keep it going. It's to automate systems so that it can run with or without you. And it's to build assets so that you can pass on either for legacy or sell for profit. So we're going to talk about the Amazon seller marketplace and again, go big picture and how it is that we can really focus in on pillar number 3. Build assets that makes your business attractive to a would-be seller.
I think overall this is going to be an example of what the 3 pillars can look like in your business, and especially culminating in number 3. So when we think about selling as an Amazon seller, we're simply putting products into Amazon for them to sell for us. And I think of it as a product pipeline. We need to source these products and send them into Amazon, which requires prepping them for their fulfillment centers. And then they're available for Amazon Prime customers for sale. The larger and more consistent that we make this pipeline, the more money that we make. And so the very first pillar is that of developing cash flow. We need to build our product pipeline. As we're building our product pipeline, we'll be implementing new procedures, systems. We'll be delegating those tasks and activities to team members on our team, or to software, to services. And we'll be creating that second pillar there, automating systems. That leads us to the third pillar of building assets. And on Amazon, what an asset is something that you own. It's not just the systems that you put in place, but it's also the products that you sell. And an investor who's looking at the value of an Amazon business, the attractiveness of an Amazon business, they want those systems in place because they don't want to buy a job. They want cash flow in place, of course, because they want a business that has existing profit. This piece right here is control of your products. And for most Amazon sellers, that means that they're going to a manufacturer and having products made that have their brand on it. So building a brand on Amazon. Investors look for that, and they're willing to pay high multiples, 2.5 to 3 times of your annual net profits. It's a hot business right now. Lots of investors looking for Amazon businesses.
Yeah.
And these are the 3 pieces that they want to see in place.
And that's what we do with our members, is starting at step 1 is to build your product pipeline, where we start with the easiest, most reliable and dependable method. There's several different sourcing methods that you're probably, if you've done any research at all, you see that there's wholesale, you see private label, you see drop shipping, you see arbitrage. There's a whole number of different sourcing methods. We start with the easiest method so that you can have the greatest likelihood of building that solid cash flow. And it's that cash flow system that you stand upon as a base of surety, if you will, that gives you the strength to then move forward in these other aspects of the 2 additional pillars of e-commerce success. And number 2 being to automate those systems into your business. That by default becomes an asset. All too often, and we have experienced Amazon sellers who come to us, a lot of it's up in their head. Well, I've been doing it and I know it and I do it day in and day out, but they haven't learned how to systematize their business. And so a would-be investor does not want to walk into something where, well, it's all up in your head. They want to see it into procedures that have then since been given to other teammates, all of it being documented, all of it being whenever there's an improvement in that particular procedure, it's updated. In other words, it's rinse and repeat, and that if something happened to, well, number 1, yourself as a CEO or one of your team members, someone else could step in, grab those standard operating procedures, those processes, and the business could continue without, and we know these things happen. People get sick, anything can happen within a business. And so this is what creates the assuredness, again, and the value of a business is because you covered your bases. It's not a, oh, the what if, in fact I call it, the what if you got hit by a bus. you know, we have to have that conversation as business owners. What if you got hit by a bus? Again, whether that's you, a key team player, what if that happens to them? Can you just keep going? And this is a really big question that you need to ask yourself. You're not going to have all of this by day one, by the way, but it's good to forecast and know in advance, you know, overarching, what are you going to need to have that end outcome? Any business advisor will ask you, well, what's your exit strategy? You don't have one? Well, you should. You should have somewhat of a concept. And as you build this business, you'll get a greater sense of clarity on what that exit strategy can be. But begin with the end in mind. That's why we're having this conversation. So that's pillar number 2, is to automate the systems. And here, number 3 is to build assets. Well, you're already building those assets. When you've got a product pipeline that's running steady and sure with the team operating it for you, that's very impressive to have accomplished that. That indeed is an asset. And then having your standard procedures is an asset. And this is when you have the ultimate control of your business, because Amazon sellers know they may have a wholesale product, before you know it, another wholesaler jumps on it, or a seller you know, has a relationship with that very same wholesaler, and now you're in competition. It happens. It is a competitive space. And so this is where you get your full control, is when you secure that product source with your brand and no one can take your brand away. That's the ultimate piece of building your business asset. So if you'd like to get more information here from the E-commerce Business School, just go to ecommercebusinessschool.com or joinebs.com to get more information. And we look forward to assisting you for whatever level you happen to be in your business. And it all leads up in our program to e-commerce CEO Inner Circle, where we really get to the full mastery of owning a business that you have built these 3 pillars. It used to be said, if you're not online, you're not in business. That's from like 15 years ago. All right, now it's that if you're not on Amazon, you're not in business.
Regardless of that big dream, you've got to build a foundation. You have to have a business that has cash flow.
You need more cash? Go out and source some more. Shove those products into Amazon. What's going to spit out the other end is profit. It's that simple, isn't it?
Then they start looking at it as, this really is a system. So how can I add more to my system? How can I start to scale this?
That's why this is so integral, each pillar leading up sequentially to that long-term reliable business.
These are the real assets then that somebody who wants to buy a business, this is what they look for.
This is the brand launcher, the career launcher, the income launcher. It's a beautiful thing. And I know you're going to love what this can do for you. You're going to get a vision. You're going to get a vision to grow your business, to sell it for a profit, kind of show your pals, your friends, your family.
Yes, you can make $1 million just selling on Amazon alone.